Hey everybody, it's Silver Seeker, and as you can see, we have a package from Rob Finds Treasure. Now this video is basically the third part of a trilogy. Let me tell you what I mean by that. If you guys don't recall, about a month and a half ago, maybe around that time, maybe a little longer, I recorded a video where I had a 5-ounce silver bar that did not test out on my Sigma Mini. And we went through a lot of testing. We drilled into it. We used acid testing. We used specific gravity testing. Of course, we did silly stuff like put a magnet on it. And we determined after going through the testing that it was 96% silver. Then I sent it to Rob Finds Treasure, and Rob Finds Treasure actually melted it and turned it into 2 pours for me, 2 bars of slightly different weights. And when he was doing those pours with our less than pure silver bar, he noticed a little bit of copper float on the top. And so that right there showed you, and he even said the viscosity was a little bit thicker than he was used to for pure silver, which right there shows you that we did not have exactly pure silver as was marked on the bar. So that was video number 2. Now, if you guys haven't seen either of those videos, I highly recommend you go check both of them out before you watch this one. Again, this is the third in that series and the final of this trilogy. We are going to open up this package. We are going to take a look at the bars that Rob sent us. If you've watched the second video on Rob's channel, you probably know what they look like, but we're going to go ahead and actually get into here. But really quick, while I'm opening this, guys, do me a favor. Don't forget to go down below. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Believe it or not, over half the people that watch my channel aren't. It's free and it really helps me out, so I do appreciate it. And now that that's said, we have the package open. Let's go ahead and take it out. So we put it inside of another bubble mailer, inside of the plastic bubble mailer. And I agree, because these manila bubble mailers, you do not want to ship with silver in them. They tear, you know, they come apart very easily. The plastic ones, the white plastic ones, are definitely the best way to go. All right, so let's go ahead and cut into this one as well and see what we have inside. Okay, so he put them in 2 little pouches, and we have another coin envelope here, which... oh, it just says Silver Seeker, 0.96% silver bars. All right, so what we are going to do in today's video is, of course, we are going to test these again on the Sigma Mini. I have no intention of drilling these, because if I drilled them, then they wouldn't be as beautiful as they are. And I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. I'm definitely keeping at least one for me. Okay, so here's our first one. So we have an RFT channel bar stamp, and this was actually the second pour, I believe. It has that little float on the top right there. This is 2 ounces Troy. And as you can see on the back, he marked it as 96% fine silver. So it is, like we determined going through the testing, it is definitely silver. It's just not quite 3.9 silver like was marked on the original bar. All right, here's our second one. Now this one he toned up in that video, which is, I think, is kind of cool. Oh yeah, take a look at that. All right, so this one right here, 0.96 and 2.8 ounces Troy. And this is the one that has that copper float on the top. So we are going to test both of these with the Sigma. So let's go ahead and get the Sigma out and set up really quick. And by the way, these pouches are cool, Rob. Okay, guys, so we have the Sigma out ready to go. We have it set up. What we're going to do first is I'm going to show you with this 5-ounce bar that our Sigma is testing silver, no problem. So let's go ahead and put it under here. And there you go. It's testing this 5-ounce 99 silver bar right there in the center of the green, right where we expect it. Flip it over to the reverse. Yep, same thing. So it's definitely testing right through it. And we actually have it on surface resistivity. Let's go ahead and switch it to bulk resistivity. And bulk resistivity actually tests all the way through the piece instead of just the surface. But here we go, all the way through the piece, same thing, 1.6, 1.61, we're good to go. So, you know, the Sigma is testing out the silver bar just fine. What we have, however, these 2 wavy bars are going to be a little bit harder to test on the device itself because the surfaces are uneven, it's thicker in different spots, things like that. We are going to give it a shot. All right, let's start here. Let's test right here. All right, here we go on the 2.81. And it is testing as silver. It's definitely in the yellow. It's not quite in the green. It's not quite as pure as that one. But it did test no problem as silver. Let's go ahead and try on the impurity spot. Now this is going to test all the way through the bar. So this impurity is right there at the top though. So let's see what it does. Okay, yeah, so it's testing a little bit less pure, but it's definitely testing as silver. So we have the small chunky one here. Let's go ahead and let's get a good surface to test on. Let's just, yeah, right here's fine. All right. Now this one's also testing as silver, but not quite as pure. And again, we're right there on the impurity spot. So what I want to do is, if you guys don't know, I've actually upgraded my PMV Pro since you last saw it. Originally, when I got it, I only had the small wand on my own. I now have the one with the small, the large, and the bullion wand. So we're going to use the large wand, and that's because this looks like, yeah, it about covers the surface. So the bullion wand is going to be too big. The sensor is going to be bigger than the bar, so it's not going to work. The small wand, we want that's for really small stuff. These are 2 ounces, 3 ounces. So we're going to hook up the large wand. We're going to go ahead and test with the large wand and see what we can do. Okay, so now that we have our large wand ready to go, let's start testing it. We're going to test it right here on the 9.6. We'll kind of move the Sigma a little bit out of the way so we have this kind of centered under the camera. But here we go. You can see the app and... All right, so as you can see, the surface resistivity, which by the way is what I have it set to, is 1.67. And that's because we're testing the surface, because what I want to do is actually do a surface resistivity test right here on this impurity. Let's go over here. Yeah, let's just do it. Look at that, guys. The impurity right there. Yeah, look at that. Our impurity is actually showing in the red. In other words, if we move over here away from the impurity, we are in the yellow as silver. And if we go on the impurity, we are in the red. What does that tell you? That basically confirms everything that we thought. And that's that impurity is whatever was causing this bar to not test as 999 fine silver. That's because it was mixed with something else, whether it's copper, which is what we believe, because copper is actually lighter than silver. So when it's all melted, the copper will float to the top. And that may be what happened here. He poured it. The copper was right there on the top because it was lighter than the silver. Let's go ahead and do it with our small bar. Now the smaller bar with the large wand may be a little bit more difficult, but here we go. Right there on the, oh man, look at that. On the center of the impurity, 2.14, 2.13. Flip it. There may be more impurity here, even though it's a smaller surface area than the rest of the bar. But here we are, then the other bar. But here we go. Oh, look at that on the reverse, where the impurity is not 1.79, 1.8. It's still testing really close, but man, on this side, oh wow, isn't that crazy? Hey everybody, it's Future Seeker here, and this is in addition to the video that I already recorded last night before the R3 cast. Rob, I showed him a part of this video, and he asked why I didn't test the bars on 96% silver. And I said, you know what, Rob, I don't know. I didn't even think about it because that is what the original bar that we sent off to Rob to be melted was testing positively at. So what we're going to be doing in this this little addition to the video is we're going to switch it over to silver 96% Britannia. We're going to be doing a surface resistivity test, not a bulk resistivity test, because I want to see what the surface is testing for on these impurity spots. So we're going to start off by testing on the left side of the bar away from the impurity, and then we'll test right center on the bar where the impurity is and see what we get. All right, so here we go on the left side of the bar. And as you can see, this bar is testing out at 1.82, 1.83. Actually, we're getting a little bit better of a reading. I moved it up just a little bit. So yeah, it's testing it's testing into Brit, and this would actually be in the yellow on the 99% silver test at 1.73. So the more it goes to the side, the more pure it is for silver. Now let's test right here on the impurity. And as you can see in the impurity, it's on to the right. It's less pure, and that's because that impurity is affecting the results. So let's flip it over to the reverse and see what we have. And it's actually, wow, if you look at the reverse, it's actually all the way off to the left at 1.62. So this would actually be in the green on 999 fine silver on this side of the bar, whereas where the impurity floated to the top while it was melted, as you can see, it's definitely less pure because of that impurity spot. But the rest of the bar is testing positively as a 96% silver bar. All right, so we'll go ahead. And by the way, if you notice the numbers vary just a little bit, that's because these wavy lines and stuff, this, you know, the way it's hitting it, it's so goofy with these pours to test them because it's not a perfectly flat surface. All right, so we're going to test the impurity spot. Remember, this impurity spot was really, really bad yesterday on the 999 silver test. And yeah, same thing. It's nowhere close. Even on the test for 96%, it's nowhere close. Now, if we flip it over to the reverse and test the backside where the impurity is not, remember, this wand is not testing all the way through. It's only testing a few millimeters into the bar. All right, so here we go. Yeah, perfect. So we're right there, dead center on 96% Britannia. So, like I said in the original part of the video, these are definitely coming through as 96%. So there you go, guys. That settles it. These impurities and that you see right here in these bars, the fact that Rob said that when these bars were being poured, that the silver just it was thicker. It just wasn't what he expected. The viscosity was different of the silver. The fact that we see the impurities right here on the bar, even through the toned piece, that right there shows you, it basically confirms a fact. We had a 3/9 fine 5-ounce silver bar that the Sigma, fortunately for me, picked up. It wasn't quite 3/9 pure. It was definitely silver, as we saw. We tested their silver here. The specific gravity test when we did the original bar, the one with the water, actually passed. But there was something in that bar. It wasn't much. It was just 3-4%. But if you think about it, if it was 96%, that means 4% of the bar wasn't silver. So every 25 5-ounce bars, they have an extra 5 ounces of silver, because they put 4% of the bar is not silver. Think about that. 4%, that's 4 times 25 is 100. So every 25 5-ounce bars, they have an extra free 5-ounce bar from it not being so pure. So be careful out there when you're buying like off-brand bars. You just never know if they're going to be as pure. And that's why I'm pretty happy that I got this thing. It really does help. It's not perfect. It doesn't test everything, but the stuff that it does test, the stuff that this thing is made to test, it tests very, very well. And so for that reason, thank you to the Sigma. Thank you to Rob Finds Treasure for doing this video with me and for letting me send these off to him and have him re-pour these as 96% silver bars. And really, it's probably more like 98% in this area. And then, whatever, you get what I'm saying. But either way, really, really cool that we have basically 96% silver bars. What I'll do with these in the future, I haven't quite decided, but they have a lot of history to them. I'm going to make 2 COAs for these 2 bars and go from there. So guys, hey, listen, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned a little bit. If you did, do me a favor, like I said earlier in the video, don't forget to go down below. Make sure you're subscribed. It's free. It really helps me out. Don't forget to hit that like button. That helps YouTube recommend this video to others. And with that said, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.